Okay, before we get to the chaos and the tiebreakers, let's jump into the college football playoff projection. Bud, why don't you walk us through the latest from the Bud bot?
Whew, yeah.
Hey, BYU, there yet. Let's go.
This version of the simulation had some people mad. Okay, so standard disclaimers. I do not consider rematches in this. I just throw it out, right? Obviously, I don't think they would rematch Texas Tech and BYU for a third time. I think they'd find some kind of way to rig that. North Texas comes out on top in this. I think it's pretty much North Texas, Tulane, or JMU. Again, I agree with Tom. I think it's very unlikely that they're going to put the Sun Belt team in just because, how many of those people in that committee room can name a team that JMU has beaten, right? Probably not many. Okay. The Sun Belt does not have any real non-conference wins, so to speak, of this year compared to what the American had. And I do think coaches in that room will value, hey, USF beat a real team. Some of these teams have actually stepped up and, in their mind, beat a team with playoff caliber athletes. The Florida win's doing quite a bit of work for that conference right now in some ways. Obviously you're beating Florida, you're beating Arkansas, two, pretty bad SEC teams, but at least those teams, they're spending some real money on the roster. The caliber of athlete is recognizable. I don't really think the Sun Belt has that. Okay. So in this case, actually had Ohio State beating Indiana keeping the 2 seed because I had Bama winning the SEC. So Bama at 3, that ruffled a lot of feathers, and we probably need to discuss that because I might be just very wrong on this, right? But if Bama has the head-to-head win over Georgia, they've played, I think, the toughest SEC schedule among all the contenders, and they would also have beaten an undefeated A&M. Do we not think that Bama would get a bye and they would jump Georgia? Would you really put the SEC champion third among SEC teams? Because A&M is going to keep a bye at 12-1 in this case. I had a lot of Georgia fans, but no non-Georgia fans. So I'm thinking this is Georgia bias. But again, I could be wrong on this, right? You're trying to guess what a committee will do. If Bama wins the SEC, are they not going to jump Georgia and get a bye? You guys are not Georgia fans. You guys are unbiased against, for or against Georgia. This is technically a Georgia podcast.
Thank you for remind. That was important that you kept that top of mind.
I tend to think they would jump back up, right? You get the road win at Auburn. Auburn is a bowl team, possibly. In the SEC, they'll probably get some credit for that. It's the Iron Bowl, all that kind of stuff. And then you're the team that beats a 12-0 Texas A&M team. I have yet to have any feedback from non-Georgia fans that this is wrong, but I got a lot of feedback from Georgia fans that this is wrong.
Yeah, no, I think Alabama would jump them both.
I just think what you said about I just don't see the SEC champion getting the 5 seed.
Correct.
I think that's a real easy data point. This quality win that Alabama gets a boost. From the scenario that you just laid out. Texas A&M is in Atlanta with a 12-0 record. The Crimson Tide win the tiebreakers, go in there and beat them. Then yeah, that to me is easy. Alabama ends up being the highest ranked SEC team in the eyes of the committee.
I think so as well. Let me see. Georgia Tech winning the SEC or the ACC and getting the 10 seed. Obviously, this implies that Georgia beats them, which I do think will happen given Georgia Tech's defense. This time Oregon beat USC, so USC did not make it. That's a change from last week. Had Ole Miss hosting Notre Dame this week, so kind of a little flip-flop there. Pitt didn't look very good. I think Pitt catches another loss or two. If Oregon beats USC, that hurts Notre Dame's resume just a little bit. So again, Notre Dame is the 8 or the 9, and Ole Miss as the 8, which sends Notre Dame on the road. That got a little bit of feedback. Also, the thing that got the most feedback
Oklahoma.
Was Oklahoma not being in. Look, in the models, guys, I'm just telling you this. You can look at pretty much any of the publicly available ones. Oklahoma's power rating dropped after that game because the offense looked like complete garbage again, and they were outgained 2-1. And I know that they played defense in a way that could lead to slightly increased chance of turnovers, and Venables is a wizard at that, but also 212 to 406 yardage edge. This has Oklahoma losing again.
Did you see the Connolly SP Plus win expectancy for Oklahoma in that game?
Yeah, 4%.
It's 4.8%.
Which, if you watch the game, makes a lot of sense, right? If you think forcing turnovers has some kind of non-random element, and I do,
and
we would all have to agree.
And Brent took some time to tell you that he believes that they were forced by his defense, and
sure,
the defense deserves credit for it.
Touchdown returns, that is completely random. Trust me. That's not having better athletes can help, but within a given game, no. So Yes, and of course, pick sixes, they do lead to less offensive yards because it steals a drive from you. Let's go ahead and add 20 yards to Oklahoma's total because they were averaging about 22 yards per drive in that game. All right. So, yeah, this has Oklahoma losing another game. They have to play Missouri, and they have to play LSU still. If Oklahoma wins out, they're in.
I will make a prediction that Oklahoma wins out and ends up getting in there. And also, Bud, as somebody who has besmirched the great name of Rich Clark and many committee members here on this podcast, for the allegations that you throw out that they're just trying to make a TV show, Bud, not taking one of the biggest winners of the weekend and throwing them out of your projected CFP model, that is a way to really drive up the interest and the intrigue. Like, let's find the
when I ran it, I was like, oh, this is going to do numbers.
It's cool. Like, what's the one team whose fans are the most happy? Yeah, because I would argue that Oklahoma fans, after that, even more so than Georgia fans, even more so than whoever else the biggest winners of the weekend were. Even being behind a second Big 12 team, that would be insult to injury for a Sooner squad that is riding high here on November 17th.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like how far they would drop if they lost to Missouri or to LSU.
They're what, a 9.5 point favorite this weekend against Missouri?
Yeah, and I think part of that is the idea that Bo Perula might play. He did warm up in shorts over the weekend. I know Zenith's tweeted that there's some chance he's back. Again, if you play offense the way Oklahoma does and you play defense the way they play, almost any game is winnable, but also the potential to lose some games is really there because you just can't move the football.
They ain't losing.
I don't think they're losing either now.
I don't think they're losing. We'll see.
They could lose.
I mean, I bet them against Tennessee. I didn't bet Bama. Like, I'm not down on this Oklahoma squad. I just like the offense just continues to not be even decent.
Listen,
but I think they've kind of coached up Mateer now, thankfully, to just not make the big mistake. And he did a pretty good job of that. But he was in you could tell he wanted to make some plays. And he said, nope, let me just get down, get back to the line of scrimmage and just get another down.
One thing you also really can't account for in this, and I would agree with you that the odds that they go undefeated are probably slightly higher than the odds that the pure numbers would say, is that we don't really know. Like, Oklahoma's going to come with an absolute home run effort for that final game if they've beaten Missouri. Right.
And what is LSU bringing to the table to meet them in the battle?
Like, can I actually bake in, that idea? And look, Mateer getting healthier, to me, he wasn't playing the position well when he was healthy. He was still missing a ton of reads. I don't buy that. Like, it's just coming off the injury. Like the brain's not getting healthier. Like, totally he did the same stuff at Washington State.
And before he got hurt this year.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like yes.
Listen, just
all right. So there's still so many teams alive.
Himself in Iowa, in Norman, Oklahoma.
Crimson and Cream, Iowa.
Yeah, everything's Crimson and Cream, Iowa. Everything's Iowa. Welcome to college football in 2025. Iowa's won.
Everything is Iowa.
I don't think that Texas Tech can jump Georgia now, given how badly Georgia thumped Texas.
I agree. Especially because their next biggest win would be a team they've already beaten.
Correct. Yeah.
And we'll have in a little bit we'll have the conference tiebreaker scenarios, but we've already heard plenty of Georgia fans already discussing how they'd be more than happy to get that 5 seed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only real counter to this is, like you have to play an extra game. Either be the SEC championship game or this one, which would be North Texas. Your likelihood of injury to starter is greater in the SEC championship game because you're going to have to play your starters for longer.
Correct.
But you do get the extra 2 weeks to heal up. Or 3 weeks to heal up, right? If you got somebody dinged.
You're not coming right out of Georgia Tech into SEC championship. Instead, you're going back and getting healthy for the 12 seed.
No, I was saying if you play the SEC championship game and somebody gets dinged, you do have a couple more weeks to get healed up before the playoff, as opposed to if you did get somebody dinged up against North Texas, you don't get extra time to rest up before the next week's games.
I guess to your point, that is 12 days, December 20th to January 1st or December 31st.
Right. as opposed to December 5th to what? December.
Wait, if you play in the SEC championship game, you get a long time.
Yeah.
It's almost, isn't it the
Assuming you would still get a bye. There's 11-2. We haven't thought about this. If Georgia were to lose in the SEC championship game, do they still get the bye?
Depends how badly they lose and who they lose to.
Yeah, there's a couple. Most likely it would be Alabama.
It also depends on
where you're
what
ranked.
else happens everywhere else.
What if you were in the top 4? Like, and they said they would not penalize, and that was last year's committee, but they said they wouldn't penalize, teams that made the conference championship game. If you were in the top 4 and you lost that game, why would you get penalized if you lost it?
Yeah, if Georgia were to go to this title game and lose, I think there is some chance that Tech gets the 4 seed.
Yeah, there's a chance. I still think Georgia would end up getting it, though.
I hear that.
Yeah.
All right.